Welcome back. I'm Dr. Padilla. The next transformation we're going to talk about is sort. Now, sort is very useful because it helps us make sure that our data is organized in a way that is easy for people to understand. And it's often one of the first things I recommend for people to do when they are visualizing their data set initially. It's especially helpful when we have a situation like this, where we have our data ordered in a not very useful way. It's ordered based on alphabetical order. Essentially, we have the total number of deaths in various countries that are alphabetically organized. And what we would like to do is order these based on the total number of deaths. So here we have our simple bar chart. And if you need to catch up, go ahead and pause the video or look at this previous video where we covered group by and aggregate. In order to add a sort to this, it's fairly simple. At the value we want to sort, we can actually just add it to the end. We can append it. So we'll write sort, open and close parenthesis. Here we'll sort it by the sum of total disasters that we calculated in the last video, total deaths. Now, the cool thing about this sort function is that it also allows you to specify the order in which you would like to visualize these in. I'm going to first visualize this in descending order. Okay, notice that it stacked up all of the different countries over here on the left, starting with the highest number of deaths, which is great. That's exactly what we want. We can also specify this to be ascending. So we would simply type that out here, ascending, and if we scroll all the way to the end, we can see that it's now in ascending order. It makes a little bit more sense if you change the X and Y values such that on the Y axis you have all of the countries, then it would make a little bit more sense that it was ascending and descending. Now, I'm actually going to go ahead and change this back. Note that you can do the same thing for the y-axis. You could do it for any axis, really. You could sort this information in any way you like. By default, Vega-Lite specifies that lower numbers should be at the bottom and higher numbers should be at the top. And that's how we expect the vast majority of graphs to look. Anytime you change that organization, people will not expect it and oftentimes miss that you have used that y-axis organization. It is actually one of the techniques used on a very infamous visualization that we'll talk about in future lectures on how data can be misleading or misrepresentative. In any case, Vega-Lite has sorted this appropriately, and if you wanted to change it, you would just add a sort to this value here. The other thing I want to point out about sort is we are sorting based on a particular value. We can also just hard code in the sorting values. We can essentially do a custom sort. So the way we would do this is we could actually directly type in the order that we want specific values to be in. So let's say we want to look at the United States, and then next we want to look at Africa. Following that, we want to take a look at China. Now notice here what we have is that it's ordered United States, Africa, and China, and then everything else in alphabetical order. So pause the video now and play around with this, see if you can find any cool sorts or interesting comparisons between countries. When you are playing around with that, I hope you notice that one of the things that is a problem with this data set is that it is intended to show different countries. It has additional data that are related to continents. Africa is a continent, obviously, not a country. And you might have noticed some other ones as well that seem to be more aggregate than individual countries. The way that we're going to deal with that, we're going to cover in the next video with filter. So take a look at our filter video to learn how we're going to separate out elements in the data.